As an old Sanskrit proverb says, 100 divine epochs would not suffice to describe the marvels of the Himalayas. Venture with us into the mystical and alluring kingdom of Nepal, a land of myth and spirituality where centuries-old culture and tradition are intertwined with the mystique of the Himalayas.
The gateway to this extraordinary country is Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, which is located at an altitude of 1,400 meters or 4,600 feet.
Against a backdrop of exquisite shuttered buildings with hanging balconies, carved doorways and latticed windows, a cacophony of wondrous sounds and colors easily invigorate the senses. Spectacular palaces, temples and monuments dominate this breathtaking setting. And vast pagoda temples whose countless shrines and statues are bedecked with flowers and incense offerings create an awesome and mystical atmosphere. This remarkable city has anything from international five-star hotels with all the amenities one would expect, through to comfortable budget hotels. Most visitors will spend 3 nights in Kathmandu, usually 1 night at the beginning of their trip and 2 upon completion. Ample time to experience the wealth of culture this extraordinary city has to offer. Typically, your stay in the valley will take you to Bhaktapur, the ancient former capital of Kathmandu. Today, it is highly regarded as a timeless showcase of medieval Nepalese town life. Bodhinath is the largest and most breathtaking stupa in Nepal, whose huge white dome is surmounted by the brightly painted red, yellow and blue all-seeing eyes of Buddha. The temple is also home to some 10,000 Tibetans. Our trip into the mountains will begin with a short 30-minute flight to Pokhara. All internal flights in Nepal are no longer than 30 minutes and are served by a variety of modern and comfortable small aircraft. They provide an ideal way to experience the breathtaking views of this magnificent country and the astonishing traditionally terraced hillsides interwoven with meandering rivers. Pokhara is situated at an altitude 915 meters or 3,000 feet, and its beauty lies in its location next to Fewer Lake. Usually, guests will spend 1 night either side of their trek in Pokhara, during which time you will have the opportunity to explore the wonderfully relaxed atmosphere of the lakeside and its array of colourful shops and restaurants. On arrival in Pokhara, you will again be met and escorted to your hotel. Like Kathmandu, you have a choice of 5-star and budget-style accommodation. At the hotel, you will receive a full trek briefing, where you will be introduced to your porters and guides, and the company will provide you with a number of essential items which will save you expense in your preparation for this trip. These include a duffel bag, a day pack, a hat and scarf to keep the sun off your face, a walking stick, a poncho, an umbrella, and a dry bag for the optional rafting trip. Water bottles and drinking water are provided throughout your trek. After your briefing, you're taken on the short drive to where we begin our journey into the Annapurna Mountains, taking in spectacular views of Pokhara from the mountain road. It is only by trekking along the ancient foot trails that travellers can experience the fascinating interior of the Himalayas, for they are largely inaccessible by road. Your trek begins at a leisurely pace. There is plenty of time to stop and photograph the breathtaking scenery unfolding before you.
Yes, right. Yes.
While the trek at times requires effort, your porters will always be at hand to assist you and refresh your water bottles. You set your own comfortable pace, and your porter will never leave your side. He will carry everything you want him to carry, leaving you to enjoy your trek unhindered. During the day, you will enjoy periodic rests in picturesque villages where we encounter the friendly local people. Nepalese children are especially excited to meet trekkers and will often walk with you through their own villages.
Namaste.
There is never any pressure to hurry. An average day's walking is between 3 and 5 hours. All our walks provide spectacular views of the mountains, the valleys, and the serene rivers below. Guidebooks will show pictures of more traditional tented camps. These are nice when the weather is fine, but lack the obvious comforts our lodges provide. Until recently, the alternative to sleeping in tents has been staying in the local tea houses. These feature small rooms, small beds, and outhouses. And although they appear quaint, they are not renowned for their comfort or privacy.
Ker and Downey, Nepal own and operate 4 mountain lodges in the Annapurna region and a rafting camp on the Seti River. All lodges are built in the local style, using local craftsmen and builders. Everything from doors, window fixtures and fittings were carried from Pokhara so as not to put pressure on the local environment. The lodges each have 10 double bedrooms. The bedrooms all have attached bathrooms with showers and western toilets. Hot water is provided using solar power. The bedrooms all have towels, soap, down jackets, hats and gloves. All our staff are recruited from the local area. The same is the case with your porters, guides and support staff. It is as the sun sets that the true atmosphere of our lodge comes alive.
So we were spending our money within the village.
Central to each lodge is the bar and dining room. Snacks and drinks are served around the fire, followed by a meal in our dining room. Food is both continental and Nepalese. Local dishes are made so they're not too spicy, with chutneys being served separately. Every morning during your trek, you'll be woken with morning tea or coffee.
Mountain is clear.
This is often the most spectacular moment of the day, since you will be able to watch the mountains change colour as the sun rises. Breakfast is often served in the gardens, so that you will be able to witness this amazing event.
Sanctuary Lodge. This is located at an altitude of 1,100 meters or 3,600 feet. The lodge is situated on a promontory overlooking the Modi River, with magnificent views of the sacred and unclimbed Fishtail Mountain, or Machapuchare as it is locally known, which stands at 6,995 meters or 23,000 feet. Local walks from this lodge are either to the village of Biratanti, some 30 minutes distant, or along the riverbank. Biratanti also straddles the ancient trading route to Tibet, so you can sit and watch the mule trains pass.
Trails that we walk along are, in the main, off the tourist tracks.
En route, you will pass colourful mule trains, fellow trekkers and locals walking to and from the mountains. Our staff provide a delicious picnic lunch during the walk. This can be enjoyed either at a local house with wonderful views or in a secluded spot that is unique to our organisation. On arrival at the Himalaya Lodge, situated at an altitude of 2,000 meters or 6,560 feet, you'll be warmly welcomed in the traditional way, and then regaled with astonishing mountain views of Annapurna South and the surrounding peaks.
Well, they said it would be good, but this is amazing. So all that long trek was
So
absolutely
well worth it.
it.
Real feel of
Love it.
achievement here.
Yes,
And the beautiful flowers.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Couldn't be
lodges.
better. It just couldn't be better.
If you spend more than one night here, the morning will be spent on a walk through the surrounding countryside and forests. The afternoon will be spent on a village walk. The Annapurna region, in which all our lodges are located, is famed as a recruiting ground for the legendary Gurkhas, most of whom return to their villages on retirement.
Born and raised in the shadow of the Himalayas, the legendary Gurkha regiments have historically been the pride of Nepal. Known as some of the finest soldiers in the world, the hardy Gurkhas carry forward a 200-year tradition of service, loyalty and excellence. We have based our entire Nepal operation on the strict principles and traditions of the Gurkhas. Our directors, guides and lodge managers are former soldiers of this legendary force. Together with our locally recruited porters and lodge staff, our guests are assured a level of service and care essential to a safe yet exciting adventure.
We have found Nepal to be the most friendly country that we have visited.
It's certainly surpassed our expectations. It's been most enjoyable. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Generally, it's absolutely breathtaking. You know, it's been worth every step of the way.
The Gurung Lodge is situated at an altitude of 1,450 meters, or 4,750 feet. The lodge is built along the lines of a traditional Gurung village. The landscape gardens have magnificent views of Annapurna South and Hinchuli. It is only by being in the mountains that one can experience village life that in many respects has remained unchanged for centuries. Our lodges are all located close to such rural hamlets. Our staff are proud of their intimate understanding of Nepalese culture and tradition, and take pleasure in showing guests the true charm and courtesy for which the Nepalese are known.
This lodge is called Basanta and is at an altitude of 1,500 meters or 4,920 feet. But it is from here that you will have stunning views of the whole Annapurna range. During your trek, you will encounter some of the schools and water projects that our company supports, thus helping local communities. This school has been significantly improved through the help of our organisation and the generosity of our guests.
Any monies donated go directly to the schools or villages. Local schools will often visit one or another of our lodges and perform impromptu local dances. Guests have the option to spend a further night in Pokhara before joining the rafting trip.
And, as always, before commencing your rafting expedition, you will receive a full briefing. Clothes for the trip will have been stowed in your waterproof bags. Cameras and small items can be stored in the waterproof drums provided. The rafts are all imported from America, and like the life jackets, helmets, safety equipment and spray suits are, of course, of the highest standard. The Seti River on which we raft runs from Pokhara to Chitwan. It's one of the last unspoilt rivers in Nepal, as it enjoys no access by road. This beautiful river meanders through vast canyons and untouched tracts of jungle-like forest. Your first day of rafting will typically take 2 to 3 hours before reaching the Seti River camp. This is very much a float experience and encounters only gentle rapids that make a wonderful introduction to this inspiring pursuit. The Seti River camp is a fully staffed facility which is situated on a lush grassy bank overlooking the white sandy beach and river. Accommodation is in large, well-equipped safari-style tents. Each tent has twin beds with sheets and blankets and all the necessary amenities required for your stay,
including an attached bathroom.
The now familiar evening happy hour is situated around the outside central fireplace for which the wood is collected from the river. And it is whilst around this warming fire that guests can sit under astoundingly clear skies and marvel at the array of brilliant stars. There is a large central dining room built in the traditional style where guests will then gather for meals. Food is both Nepalese and continental. Most guests will spend 2 nights at the river camp. The day will be spent visiting local villages, relaxing, fishing and exploring the riverbank. Leaving the camp, the rafting will again take between 2 and 3 hours. There will be 4 or 5 points where you will experience short distances of white water. Each lasts no more than 30 seconds and is fun for all. These rapids are graded as 2+, grade 6 being the most difficult. You are, of course, perfectly safe in the hands of your capable crew, and people of all ages have enjoyed this thrilling journey. On completion of the rafting, guests will either return to Kathmandu by road, or as many do, continue on to the Royal Chitwan National Park to enjoy the complete Nepalese experience. Here you will stay for 2 nights and days of game viewing. Chitwan National Park was established in 1973 and covers an area of 1,040 square kilometers, or 402 square miles, and is situated at an altitude of 150 meters or 506 feet. The park is located mainly in an alluvial floodplain, with the remainder being covered with deciduous forest, dominated by the huge sal or hardwood tree. Game viewing takes place from canoe, Land Rover, foot or on elephant back. There's a large variety of wildlife to observe, including such rare species as the one-horned rhinoceros, the guar, the sloth bear, 4 species of deer, langur and rhesus monkeys, and the elusive Royal Bengal tiger. Accommodation is either in bungalows or tents, both with attached bathrooms. A short flight back to Kathmandu for 1 or 2 nights follows, where you can finish your sightseeing and any last-minute shopping.
In addition to all you have seen, and for the more adventurous